There are not enough seats. And so what a lot of these people are doing is they're going to things like this as a way to learn something they need to learn but cannot get in their traditional school. So I think it's a supplement in two ways. It's a supplement for people who are in a good traditional school and need some online supplements. That's called blended learning. And then there's also supplement in the sense of compensating for the lack of traditional resources for people who don't have access to them. In which case you could learn exclusively through this. It may not be as good as a dedicated teacher in front of you in a small group of 20 kids, but it's better than zero. There's been some very interesting research by the US Department of Education that shows that blended learning, combining traditional face-to-face classroom instruction with online learning, is more effective than traditional classroom instruction alone, even with the best teachers. And it's certainly more effective than online alone, by combining them. And this is again something that, depending on which school your kids go to, some of the schools are not adopting this idea. They're saying blended learning involves, gee, kids can get on the internet anytime they want. That doesn't make any sense. Teachers just don't want to deal with that. But that is, that kind of supplementation can really make a big difference to the kids. Yeah.
I missed the first part of your first few minutes of your talk.
Okay.
Once the kids learn, how does that get translated into, do you offer any diplomas or, does that get accredited in the school system? That's question number one. The second question I have for you is, some time ago, I used to go once a month, every Sunday, to these public housing areas and get about 10 students and teach them tables, maths, and the God to Sunday equations. But after some time I got frustrated. And plus I found him disenchanted. So the question now is, if we adopt this open study system for them, they don't have internet access, but parents have these cell phones. So I'm just trying to see how we can go to a lower income group rather than middle income group, so that we can reach out to the people
Right.
in public housing.
Okay, both great questions. So the first question, we OpenCourseWare, if you look at the OpenCourseWare sites, again, MIT is the largest, but there are several others. Their number one requested feature is online certification of some kind. I've gone and taken this course, can I get some kind of a badge? We are looking at that as a possible revenue model because that is something they'll pay for. But I don't personally want to get into the accreditation business. Becoming accredited to do this involves dealing with SACs and dealing with, there's a huge amount of legislation and bureaucracy to deal with in the US if you want to actually offer accreditation. More likely what we think will happen, so one of the things I do is, Georgia Tech has a new center called the C21U, Center for the 21st University. And Rich DeMillo, who runs that center, is talking with, and he was a former dean of our college, talking to deans and professors at other universities. There's a lot of interest in setting up kind of an informal accreditation exchange where people would recognize courses and given by other people, even if they're not kind of formal degree courses, and allow you to use them for some kind of credit, placement credit, other kinds of credit. And the idea is to set up, and there's actually now one proposal to have an open accreditation exchange where anybody could offer accreditation and develop a brand to do that. And so I'm much more interested in letting people solve that problem and partnering with them. If you have a way to test or accredit people, or maybe Kaplan has a way, or College Board has a way with SAT, I'd rather have us partner with you and say, hey, we can teach the kids, you accredit them. Maybe there's a revenue share or something like that. The second question is also a good question. I think most of the kids that we encounter have cell phones and are using cell phones to access the internet. And this is not my project now, but we have a group at Georgia Tech who does a lot of work with inner city disadvantaged youth, and they are looking at disenfranchised youth, trying to engage them not in study in particular, but just re-engage them into society. And they found the best way to connect with them and reach them is through their phones. Open Study is still not a mobile platform. One of the things we want to do is put it on a mobile platform where you could ask a question or get some help or talk to people through a smartphone or even through a traditional text message. There's a company that did this extremely well. It's called Aardvark. I don't know if you've seen aardvark.com. It was acquired by Google recently. It's not an education company. It was a question. It's like a Yahoo Answers question asking company. And what they did was very few people actually go to Aardvark's website to ask a question like you would with Yahoo Answers. You interact with it through any means that you want to interact with. You can do text message, you can go to your Yahoo Instant Messenger, you can go to Google Talk, you can email, you can do anything you want and talk to Aardvark, who will get your questions answered through your social network. I think that system really took on because people always had it with them, no matter what platform you were on. And that kind of a technology, I think, is accessible to everyone. And so I think that's one of the directions that we would like to go. Again, we have a small team and haven't had enough resources to do all the work we want to do.
How do you keep the interest captivated, which is not an audio-visual model, audio-video model? How are students captivated in this sort of in-person teaching?
So if you've seen kids nowadays, they live like this, right? They are into texting. They don't need audio video, they want to text. And so they come online, and again, it's really instructive. If you go, especially late at night when a lot of students are online, you go online, student will come in, they'll type a question, and you'll see 2, 3, 4 students immediately, even before the question's finished typing, will pounce on it and start to answer it. In fact, we had one of the students, one of our users emailed, we have this suggestions group, emailed us with the suggestion saying, I'm finding it really hard to get in there and answer a question because someone's always answering it before me. They're trying to answer. They're really into this. They describe it as being addictive. They want to help each other. Again, go back to the Pew Internet studies. The students are really motivated by peer reputation, by their social reputation. They want to have the most Facebook friends. They want to have the most views on their YouTube video, right? They want to have the most thumbs up. They really want that. So they are very motivated by just the idea of engaging with other people and getting some kind of recognition for their helpfulness, even if they're wrong. And so I think it's the whole reward system, the game reward, the badges you can earn, that's getting people, and they chat about. We have on the site, in the new site, along with the actual studying part, there's also just a chat room where you can just chat, where they do studying on the study side, and there's a social chatter. And if you see what they chat about, a lot of them are really motivated with, hey, I'm trying to become a superstar, I need 3 more fans, and so forth. And I think the game-like rewards is the engagement there. It's not the audio and video.
What is hardcore learning possible with this? Is it possible just reading and assume that you're learning? Of course, in IT is fine, but does it really help?
So, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see I keep posting studies about this. There's been a lot of studies done recently over the last few months on the use of Twitter in classrooms, the use of Facebook in classrooms. And study after study shows that students who tweet do better in their classes. They get better grades. So I told my students, I got a big laugh out of it in my class. But I teach a class of about 100 undergrads, and half of them are sitting there with their computers open, and they're pretty much all on Facebook through the lecture. If you stand from behind, you can see that. And so I told them that, I asked them, so who's on Facebook? And they all raised their hand. Right? And I said, look, if you want to be on Facebook during my lecture, what you should be doing is tweeting about my lecture. Post a comment on what I'm saying, because that will help your grade. It's attention. If you're tweeting, the tweet isn't important. It's like writing notes, right? If you don't write notes in class, you don't learn anything. If you write notes and you throw your notes away, you still learn a lot more. Because the act of writing that's important. So getting people tweeting and getting them texting, all of that increases their learning. And study after study shows this.
My question is, isn't there some kind of a moderation required, because many people might answer the same question and they may all be not the same and things like that. Is there a kind of a moderation happening?
We have community managers who are online in case moderation is needed. We find very little need for moderation because the community will moderate itself.